You know, oftentimes my eye gets caught by rough stuff, stuff that doesn't necessarily, um, let's say, things that aren't necessarily going well in the world, things that are on fire, or things that are going wrong, or some kind of show of corruption, or something that has just gone monstrously bad. But there are good things that happen. And one of those was MAS winning the elections in Bolivia. Now, if you remember, in Bolivia, there was a coup. It's widely believed that the United States participated, or at the very least assisted in that coup with its influence in the Organization of American States. Evo Morales wins by like 10 points. Doesn't need a runoff. It's so dramatic of a victory. Instead of this victory being honored, the OAS, Organization of American States, says we think there's fraud in these results. Now, this leads to a bunch of right wingers who, fascists, theocratic fascists, who come into play attacking indigenous leaders. Evo gets a nod that says his safety is in jeopardy. He leaves and goes to Mexico with his Obrador for safety, while the people in Bolivia, some of which were killed, some of which were attacked and beaten, the indigenous community depowered, and you basically get a bunch of fascists, unelected, taking power in a coup. Well, in the recent election, MAS blows the doors off of the victory. The coup government, at this point, is probably going to be prosecuted. And Evo just crossed the border back into Bolivia. You must understand, Evo was dramatically popular. Again, think of our race. Think of the race between, let's say, Obama versus John McCain, which was a blowout. And it was nowhere near 10 points. I'm trying to get across to you the level of the win in regards to Evo's victory. And he was deposed from power with a bunch of right-wing fascist gangs going through the streets, killing and injuring people. Some of the people who were injured are actually going into Congress in Bolivia. So this is a great renewal from the standpoint of Bolivia. MAS swept. Let's see, under Evo Morales, poverty was reduced from 60% to 34% between 2006 to 2018. Think about that. Medical, meaning healthcare, universal healthcare. He was able to bring the indigenous communities into the political space. And even from the standpoint of lithium, something that Bolivia has apparently massive amounts of, Evo was working on a deal to ensure that whoever they were selling the lithium to, and if I'm not mistaken, it was a Chinese firm, that some of the work in producing those batteries would have to be done in Bolivia. Meaning his policies was going to ensure that people in Bolivia was going to be able to benefit from the products of Bolivia. Fucking amazing leader. And this guy was basically ran out by fascist right-wing class-based forces that were in the hands of the rich. Well, in this case, MAS wins a resounding victory. The coup mongers couldn't keep their hands on the government itself. And look, just because Biden is in doesn't necessarily mean these South American governments are safe. I mean, keep in mind, one of the first things that happened in the Obama administration was the undermining of the Honduras government, with Zelensky being taken out in his pajamas with a Hillary Clinton State Department. So Democrats are just as vicious in regards to deposing governments or coups and everything else. In fact, I would make an argument they may be more so. But in this very specific instance, Evo, back in Bolivia, that is definitely good news for the day. Like, here's another one This is him crossing into, I don't know how to pronounce this, Kiakaxo Vizalin. Like I said, he's dramatically popular. Dramatically popular. So the fact that he's able to go back is amazing. The arrest warrant that the coup mongers have put out for him that has been annulled, and Evo is back home. Fucking A, love it. Like, share, subscribe.